Hello everybody and welcome to RDTV. My name is Paul Jeffrey and today is, excuse me, very special day indeed. It's the Assetto Corsa Competizione live stream event for the brand new DLC in ACC. We are driving the GT World Challenge 2020 cars, teams and liveries and drivers, and we're racing at the legend that is the beautiful Imola Grand Prix circuit. Joining me in today's activity, we've got Kunos developers, we've got Gergo, Davide and Aris taking part in the race, a selection of sim racing YouTubers and GT3 World Challenge drivers and Assetto Corsa Competizione beta testers, but running under hidden names. Very, very excited to be here, very excited, privileged, honoured and pleased to be part of this live stream event, and I'm looking forward to sharing with you a world's first of these new cars and tracks and all the wonderful things that come with it. Now, bear with me 1 second while I quickly check my telephone to see if this broadcast actually is working and running properly. So, bear with me 1 second while I type, is it okay? Right, great stuff. So, what is the plan of attack? I hear you all say today. We've got two races, so we're doing free practice at the moment. We've got a 15-minute qualification at the end of this one. Then we're doing a 20-minute first race. And then we're going into, a reverse grid second race. So what that means is basically I will no doubt finish towards the back of the grid. I will be on pole and get swamped by everybody in the second race. But enough of that. Let us hit the track. We've hit the hour. That means I'm allowed to go. So, here we are. Now, we are driving the AMG Mercedes 2020. One of two brand new cars in the new DLC for Assetto Corsa Competizione. The AMG 2020 and the Ferrari 488 GT3 Evo are both new content in the pack. So I'll let the Aston past. Who is that? That is Colorone, one of the beta testers. So these are two new cars, brand new for the DLC. Also brand new for the DLC is the new Pirelli DHE tyre model, which is amazing. Really brings alive the cars. My tyres are ice cold because I've spent too long faffing about talking in the pit lane, so tyre temperature, tyre pressures, I've been advised by Aris, are critical in this new tyre model that they've got running in ACC. Really makes a huge difference. If you've not got your tyres up to temperature, up to pressure on the outlap, you're going to be skating around like you're in a Formula 1 car at Istanbul Park in the rain, as you can see as I run very deep into the hairpin. So for us today in this race, getting a good formation lap, getting everything up to the point it needs to be at is going to be critical in order for us to get a decent lap time, in order to get a good start into this race. It's only a 20-minute. There are no pit stops. There's no real strategy involved. It's just keeping it clean, keeping it on the straight and narrows. I've got a faster car behind me, so I'll just move over, let him go. Into the nasty chicane. There's so much time you can win or lose in this chicane. Really got to monster the curbs. The AMG Merc likes the curbs on this particular track, so not too much of a problem, but keeping traction coming out of the chicane is quite difficult. I'm running this car on the default aggressive setup. I've made a couple of little tweaks. I've obviously tweaked my fuel. I've also closed the rear brake ducts a little bit on the car, 2 clicks. I think it's on 2 on the rear now. So I realise that the rears are not really getting overstressed in terms of temperature, so I can afford to do that, give me a little bit of a help keeping things up to temp for the braking zones, and also getting the car a little bit faster in a straight line as well. But other than that, I'm running it pretty much in stock aggressive setup, and the balance is nice and neutral. The car is a heavy car. Obviously the engine is very much at the front of the Mercedes, so the front weighs quite a bit more than the rear. And I found in a few of the high intensity, high speed apex corners, like one, not this one, but the ones we're about to come up to in a moment, you've got to be very, very careful not to swap ends on corner entry. Here, a little bit of brake, then get the car, catch it on the brakes and get it turned in while trail braking. It's a fast way of doing it, but it's a risky way of doing it as well. So no doubt that will catch me out at some point during the course of these two races in the heat of battle. But we'll cross that bridge when pre-practice is over and done with. I've not had a reply on my phone to say the broadcast is on its last legs, so I'm assuming this is all going out to everybody watching, and if it is, hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me on this merry adventure that is the very first running of the Assetto Corsa Competizione 2020 GT World Challenge, DLC and track. Very, very excited, as I say, to be here racing against my fellow sim racing enthusiasts, YouTubes, developers, GT World Challenge drivers and Assetto Corsa Competizione beta testers. Basically, everybody in the dog that's got more speed and skill than I have. So hopefully I can remember how to do the talking and driving thing and put up a reasonably decent show. I've been on server with Mr. Git a couple of times. I'm sure you all know Mr. Git, check him out, he's a very good YouTuber and streamer as well. And we've been separated by the grand old gap of 0.02 of a second, so depending on how we respectively cope with the talking and driving aspect, we should be fairly close to each other, I would think, during the course of the day's running. Sadly, Chris Hay was supposed to be here, but he's got the lurgy, so if you're watching this, mate, hope you're feeling well. Would have been good to have another race with you, but another time and another place, my friend, I am sure. A lot of the lurg going around at the moment because it's winter and blah 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 blah, changing weather. Felt a bit under the weather myself a couple of days ago, but luckily fighting fit, so I can't hide behind that excuse for my horrendous performance here today. Again, if you're new to Race Department on Twitch, thank you, welcome, hello, do give us a follow and a like. We're live broadcasting on the RDTV Twitch channel today, but we will archive this video on the Race Department YouTube channel as well. So hopefully those of you that missed the live broadcast get an opportunity to check these cars out for the very first time and this track out for the very first time as well. I'm using the Mercedes AMG all the way through this competition. This is one of the two new cars alongside the Ferrari 488 GT3 Evo. Not got a great deal of experience in a Mercedes in Assetto Corsa Competizione. I'm traditionally an Aston Martin man, but I must say I'm thoroughly enjoying my time in the car. Do stay tuned tomorrow at Race Department on YouTube when I do be launching my review video about 3 PM CET on the 18th, so do stay tuned for that one, where I'll go into a little bit more detail when I'm not in the pressure of competition environment that we're in today about the various different things that have changed as part of the 1.6 Assetto Corsa Competizione update that comes alongside this DLC, because it's not just a DLC, there's also a considerable change to the build of the simulation included in this as well. So the 1.6 update has a number of tweaks and fixes, but interestingly there's also some work from former lead developer and founder member of Kunos, Stefano Casilio. So Stefano been brought in on a consultancy basis to do some work on the AI, the artificial intelligence of the computer controlled players within the game. And I must say, I've been very deeply impressed by the changes that Stefano has put together for the new build. So I've raced predominantly on Imola, of course, because that's a new track and everybody likes new and shiny. but I've also done a little bit of Laparune at the Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit too in the 2020 cars, and they're a lot more aggressive. So they really do defend and overtake a lot better than they did before. There's some changes to the algorithms for how they make mistakes and how they behave in combat, attacking and defending, and it really makes for a very nice single player experience. Really stepped up quite nicely indeed compared to what we had in 1.5.9 and prior. So hopefully players that are more inclined to race offline will get some really big benefits from that 1.6 AI update. And I dare say, although I don't know this for a fact, I dare say there'll be more work goes in on that one as well in the future, but it's a really, really nice improvement. The pace has upped a little bit, the behaviour in traffic has upped a little bit, and also very cool that I noticed from my running, the often ACC's criticised a little bit for the cars running in a bit of a trolley train, so kind of like line astern, not really fighting and swapping positions, no real gaps being spread between the cars, but I noticed a lot more field spread, the AI making mistakes, fighting each other and the player as well, and that's really, really welcomed. Really adds to the immersion value of the offline experience significantly. So really do like what they've done there at Kunos HQ to bring some value to the offline racing community as well. Also, in terms of changes, we've got some just trying to work out whether that's a car behind me. It's on a fast lap or not. I'm not quite sure, so I may let him go in a minute, although I'm 3/10 to the good on my previous time, which would be a shame to give that one up. Let's see how we get through here, and then we'll make a decision coming up into the chicane at the top of the hill. Really can't keep the car stable there. Right, we'll let him go. I'm not particularly quick on this track. I love Imola, I really do, but with these cars and with the tyre model that I'm going to talk about shortly, you can really attack the circuit, you can really get at the curves, you can really be aggressive in the way that you drive, and that gives you a much different driving experience than what I'm used to in ACC. So I've always driven these GT3 cars very gently, very carefully, being really respectful to the car and how much steering lock I'm applying and how I'm sort of tentatively pushing the car around the track. But with the new tyre model, the extra feel that then gives to you as a driver through the force feedback, it really encourages you to pick it up by the scruff of the neck and give a hard charge. You've got so much more feeling of the edge of grip and what the tyres are doing underneath the car than we had before. Whereas before, from the way I've described it in one of the videos that will be going live tomorrow, is what we got before is I could feel when the car went over the limit and I could do something about it in version 1.5.9. Whereas here, with the new tyre logic that's been applied and the new DHE tyres in these 2020 cars in particular, I can feel the build-up to when it's going on the edge. So I can actually take the car up to the edge and bring it back again. Whereas before I didn't have that information being fed through the steering wheel to me. That allows a much more competent driver than I, for sure, to be able to push the cars just that little bit more, because you've really got so much more information coming through the steering wheel, and that is massively, massively interesting as a sim racer and as a driver. No, get away. As a driver that's interested in immersion aspects of the racing sim, because I feel so much more connected to the car than I did before. It's one of our devs, unfortunately, bulking me. Lost 0.3 of a second, but again, it's only free practice, and I've got full tanks, so I'm not exactly going for fast laps. I'm just getting some race practice in. So it's fair to say that I'm a fully paid up member of this new DHE tyre model that they've got for the 2020 cars, but bear in mind this is for the 2020 GT3 Challenge cars. So this is, as per the Real World Series, the dimensions of the tyres are a little bit better, a little bit larger, sorry, than previously. I understand that the GT World Challenge drivers, on the whole, prefer these tyres over the previous generation, as they give more grip in real life as well. They're a little bit more solid in real life, so you can push on the edge a little bit more, just like in the sim. But the 2018 and 19 season cars and the Intercontinental GT Challenge Pack remain on their respective tyres. Regardless of this DLC, there have been some tyre logic improvements applied universally across the board by Kunos, so there will be some changes. It is advised to reset your setups as well, but that changes aren't as significant as they are in the 2020 cars of the DLC. And if you were kind of watching this, or even if you're not watching this, I speak to you from afar, but if you were thinking prior, why am I going to bother buying the 2020 DLC? I've already got 18 and 19. There's no significant change apart from, as I say, the AMG that I'm driving now and the Ferrari 488 Challenge. I would strongly advise you to think again on your decision not to purchase, because the cars are so different. It's almost an entirely different game. It's just the bliss, absolute bliss. They are fantastic content and something that I hugely recommend you give the time of day to, because I love ACC. It's without a doubt one of my very favourite racing sims pretty much of all time, but to have seen how good this DLC is, how good these cars are, I didn't think they'd be able to improve the sim that much, and yet somehow they have. So kudos to Kunos. Really good work that Kunos have put in with this new update, and I'm hopefully sure that the community out there as well will agree with me when the time comes that it really is work of the absolute finest magnitude by the Italian team over at Kunos HQ. It's just mesmeric, orgasmic, some might say. Really good stuff. Now, I've made a rookie's mistake and not brought a beverage into the stream, and already I can feel my throat going. So I'm going to pay the price for that one as the day progresses, but I have been clever and put shorts on, so hopefully I'll not be quite as drenched in sweat as I have been previously. Pit limiter on. Come down pit road. Imola, oh beautiful Imola. Love this track. It's a laser scan version of the Imola Grand Prix circuit. It was taken, missed my box completely, it was taken just after the 2020 GT World Challenge event this year as well. So it's a brand new laser scan. It's not a rehash of Assetto Corsa 1. So it is a brand new laser scan, bang up to date as well. Just going to have a quick check, make sure the stream is still running. I have no idea at all how Twitch works, so if it's working or not, I hope it is. I'm sure Bram or one of the team will text me and let me know if everything is going okay. In fact, I'll just touch him now. Is all okay on stream? Right, so we've got 11 minutes and 41 seconds left of the practice session before we get into the meat of qualifying. Let's have a look how embarrassingly far down the running order. Oh my good lord, I am. Wow. 1.9 seconds off the pace, 43. I know I can do a low 42, so that should run me around Dave Pearl, Roman Monte, which are obviously two real-world drivers. Mr. Gitz on a 42.3, which is about where I'm at. We're just behind Davide Brivio from Kunos, and also Gergo, and Kevin Stuck as well is in the server too. So we're ahead of Aris, but that's because he's not set Representative time. Luke is in comms on the main broadcast, so yay, we're last of the people that we want to be beating. Josh Martin up there on a 41.7. Yardier 41.6. No way I can get near Yardier or Nils Nalyox. Right, let's go for it then. Let us see if we can try and close down some of these times ahead of us. In fact, let's not make that mistake first. Let's return to garage and get warm tyres on. Not be doing that one again. There we go. Into the garage. Pit lane speed limiter is active. There's no way I want to be running 20 seconds by the time it comes to the proper qualification stage. There's no way. I'm not fast, but I'm not that slow. So let's see how that one goes in a minute. It's been bounced down on the speed limiter. That must be like neck breaking for the drivers to be bouncing so violently down the pit lane when you've got the speed limiter active. As per previously, keep it in first gear, pit lane speed limiter, knock it up to second gear just like that, and the pit lane speed limiter will turn itself off. Sure, there's nobody behind us. That's Aris in his Audi ahead of us. See if we can chase down the man who essentially is one of the key people that made these physics as wonderful as they are. So we'll chase Aris down, but there is a Bentley between the two of us, and I've got understeer because I'm driving on fresh tyres. Bentley lets me go, thank you very much. Really is critical, these tyre pressures. Get them up, get temperature into the brakes, into the tyres, get pressure into the tyres as well. It makes a big difference if somebody's off. I'm sure who that was in the background, may have been Davide actually, in the green Kessel Racing Ferrari, no doubt. Such a wonderful circuit is Imola. Of course, very famous for a whole load of bad reasons and also good. Made its return to Formula 1 this season. A welcome return if you ask me as well. It was great to see Formula 1 cars around proper old school circuits with gravel traps and walls proximity to the racetrack. It's a beautiful venue, is Imola, one that I really have always had an affinity for, both in the old Tamburello sweeping left hander right the way through to the modern incarnation that we're racing. It's Tamburello and Villeneuve now, both been turned into chicanes since the tragedies of 1994. Alike as well, they've taken out that chicane at the end of the lap. That always felt a little bit awkward to me when they ran that a few years ago. Car's not quite much pressure yet. You can probably see it's moving around a little bit underneath me, but with the force feedback of the tyres, I can feel a little bit more of what the car's doing than once before. I don't need to unnecessarily react to that movement. I know that that's within the boundaries of what's acceptable for keeping my car on the straight and narrow, which is really nice actually, because often, well, any real racing driver will say that the vast majority of their feeling, their communication with the car is based on what they feel in their backside, what they feel through the chassis, into the backside, the base of their spine. And unless you've got a nice and a fancy motion rig setup, we don't have that advantage here in sim racing. All our feedback is being represented through the steering wheel. So we lose a lot of the nuances and fine detail that real world racing drivers use to pilot their car successfully. So for me, being able to have more information in my hands through the wheels, I run a little bit deep, a lot deep actually, to have that additional information and for it to be communicated in a clear and sensible way is absolutely critical to me to keep the car on the path I need it to be on and to be able to turn semi-competitive laps. I mean, I'm way off my pace because I'm talking at the moment, and I'm not an alien racer by any stretch of the imagination. I just like the realism aspect is what I'm in sim racing for, not the victories. Said every slow driver in the world. But it really does do a great job of communicating to you, so you're not correcting things, as Aris goes off there. You're not correcting things you don't need to correct. You're not reacting to phantom feelings, if you like. And that is nice. That is a nice feeling to have. It inspires confidence in you as a driver. It gives you the feeling that you know you can push the car to its reasonably close to its limits, and it's not going to bite you back. It's not going to do anything stupid or unexpected, which is welcomed, to say the least, as we're pretty much, you can see the top left hand corner 3,000, 5 thousandths away from our current quickest lap time. So I'm losing about a second by virtue of having a chitter chatter with you all here, which is pretty much what I expected. Well, I think on as well, as we come into the dying moments of FP1, or the entire free practice, you'll notice there's a little display on the dashboard that's flashing up when the flags are yellow and green, which is new for 2020 of the new cars. Really nice addition, very easy to spot and to see, and that's basically the communication in the car, same as in the real world. It tells you what the track conditions like in terms of flags and such like. So I like that. That's a nice handy addition. As I go a little bit deep, we get away with it just. I'm going to understeer for the second part. Just about got away with it. Lost a bit of time in terms of what should be good, but excuse me. Oh no, the lurg's coming here as well. Believe it or not, that was terrible. First two chicanes, but I'm still equaling my best time, which shows how not well things have gone in practice so far. Only got 4 minutes. I've probably got enough time to get another couple of laps under my belt before we head into quali. Not done a low fuel run actually in this car yet, so quali will probably be even more embarrassing. I'm not a qualifier, I'm very much a racer. Not really a racer either, to be fair, but I'm better at racing than I am at qualifying, let's put it that way, in the virtual world, as we've got a 10th now. So can we try and elevate ourselves a little bit? I mean, the guys you see, like the Nils Naujoks, the Josh Martins at the front of the field, they're professional esport racers. They do this for a living, so there's no way on earth I'm going to get anywhere near guys like that. I think I joined the server for practice last night at the same time as Nils Naujoks, and I was 1.4 seconds off his pace, so yeah, different world. Although, to be fair, I'd quite like to be 1.4 seconds off at the moment. That would lift me nicely in this practice session. As we cross the line, still in 22nd. Oh, 20th. Whoa, whoop, whoop. 20th. Come on, Paul. Doesn't matter. It's only practice. Just getting a feel for the car and the track conditions. Imola's quite a difficult track on which to pass, so qualifying will be important, of course, but also don't forget there's going to be a reverse grid race for the second encounter, so the top 15 finishers of race 1 will be reversed for race 2, which, top 15, hey, might have myself an opportunity at race 2 pole, which would be, frankly, absolutely terrifying. So let's hope, well, let's see what happens. There is time. I've got a feeling this corner that I'm just going through now is going to catch more than a couple of drivers out during the course of the racing action. I've got a feeling this chicane at the top of the hill also is going to be the scene of some tears of joy and defeat during the course of these races too. Very tricky chicane. Cut track is oh so easy to achieve at this circuit in real and virtual worlds. So yeah, you got to be super careful in the race not to get caught out with those sorts of shenanigans. I'm going for stay out of trouble mode, I think, is the most sensible approach to this one. Just relatively competent, stay out of trouble, see what I can pick up as we find another 10th of a second, but sadly not another position, so I'm slowly getting down to where I know I can be. So my pace here, realistically on the practice servers, has been about a 42.3 at a push and about a 42.7 on race stint pace, which is nowhere near the big boys, but is better than we're achieving at the moment. Of course, server conditions will differ. We've got, what have we got? What's the server condition? I don't know where. I don't think I've got the temperature actually and track condition on my heads up display. Looks nice and sunny. It's been a little bit more in the evening time when I've been on track over the last day or two. See, look at that, you could feel that's what it was doing and do something about it. I don't think that correction would have been possible in 1.5.9, if I'm perfectly honest with you. Or if it would have been, it'd have been a whole lot more dramatic of an incident, and it would have been a bit more skin in your teeth as to whether you're going to survive the lap or survive the move or not. So really nice that we've got that level of ability to feel what the car's doing so much more. And I need to build my confidence in it. I need to go with sliding, go with trying to get the car turned into the apex on the brake a lot more than I'm doing at this moment in time, as session has come to an end. 20th. Wow, that's pretty disappointing. Let's head back into the pits. Now, ahead of qualification, another thank you if you've just joined the stream, if you've been here right from the beginning. Awesome to have you with us. Thank you very much for joining in today at Race Department TV on our Twitch channel. Please do give us a follow and a like and whatever the other good things are that you do on Twitch. We'd really, really appreciate that one. 7 laps of fuel in a 15-minute session, is it? Yeah, that should be enough. Yeah, we really do appreciate your support. We do this for you guys and girls out in the community, so it's great to see. There we go. It's great to see you join us on this journey. We hope you're enjoying the video and my ramblings on in this Kunos Simulazione organised Assetto Corsa Competizione new DLC live stream event. I've got a little beep on my phone saying, from Bram, saying the stream is working. So cheers Bram for that, mate, much appreciated. I'm glad it is working. So yeah, do give us a like and a follow on our Twitch channel. Also catch us Race Department on YouTube as well, where we do daily news videos about the happenings and goings on in the worlds of real and virtual motorsport, and we do other things such as testing out the latest hardware and software, DLC content reviews and all that good stuff. So it's the home of places to go for me rambling on about sim racing things. So please do join us on that journey as well and help us grow that channel. That would mean the world. And if you already do, thank you. Your support means a heck of a lot to us. We're all on this for a passion project. We're all on this journey because we love what we do and we want to give back to the community. So to see that you're consuming and enjoying that content is exactly why we do it. So thank you very much for being on that journey with us today. Now, I anticipate I've not done, let's get back to the matter in hand, shall we? I've not done a low fuel run in this car yet, but I anticipate from what I understand that the tyres are going to start to hit their optimal, so to speak, after a couple of laps. So we've got plenty of meat on the tyres. I've got no concerns whatsoever about tyre wear. That should not be a problem at all. It's just going to be about getting it in to the optimal working range, as I see a whole queue of cars here. So let's give them, oh come on guys, let's stop doing this, it's not Formula 1. I drag my brakes to keep them hot. Hopefully that's enough real estate that we've got for the drivers ahead. That's kind of scuppered our tyre conditioning plans. But let's be realistic, it's not going to make any difference, is it? I could kind of carry a full fuel load and still going to end up in Broad at the same spot. So first lap for me, always a banker. And by a banker, and that's a B, not a W, by a banker lap, I mean a reasonably competent lap. That's just, in case anything goes belly up in the rest of the day, I've got something I've got something semi-representative, he says, as he goes off the track and gets time disallowed. So yeah, what I was hoping to achieve is like a semi-competitive lap, just to get a marker on the board. It's only a 15-minute session. We've only got 11 and a half left on the clock, so you're not exactly swimming in time in which to set a time lap for this first race. So unfortunately that plan has gone awry. So we shall get a wiggle on, get some temperature into the car as we try again another time. I hate doing that. It always puts me on the back foot when I've not set an opening lap. Really dislike that one as I'm coming up to a Lamborghini ahead of us, but he's far enough away to stay out of our road, I think, but close enough to potentially give us an oh so small slipstream down this gargantuan start-finish straight here at Imola. So maybe we'll find a 10th, maybe we won't. Let's find out. Try and get a little bit of his. We're not going to get a significant slipstream, but even just a little bit is always advantageous. Never give away the opportunity to take some lap time. I don't need to chip the car in a 6. Got a reasonably early turn, we survive the curves because the Mercedes doesn't mind curbs at all. The second part of the chicane is easy flat. As we head down into Villeneuve, we'll want to rub a little bit of speed off, drop a gear, catch some curb on the inside, drop another gear, turn in nice and early, control the slide on the exit, run wide, use the full width of the circuit, brake in a straight line, drop it down in the first gear, get the car into the curb, but don't touch the curb because it's super slippy, early on the gas, short shift up to second gear, minimise the wheel spin. We've got traction control, but it's only on level 2 and you can still get a little bit of wheel spin here. Don't go too deep, don't go too early, don't go too late, keep it in the middle, don't run too wide and get a cut track. We just got away with that one. Keep it in 4th gear, dab with the brakes, stabilise the car, too late on the brakes there, Paul. Down into 2nd gear, they get car turned in early, on the throttle early as well, straight line, the curb on corner exit, super tricky section of corners. Coming into the chicane here, you can win or lose time like it's going out of fashion, an iron bolt, big style from the Lamborghini for the... And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, you have a cycle lap first, because incidents like that and suddenly everything goes peak tongue. Here, downhill section, very, very tricky to get the car slowed down. I'm still going to set this time because I've really not got a lot left on the clock at all. So although he slowed me massively into the chicane, let's see what we can do with a slipstream. We'll sacrifice our next lap unless he gets out of the way. And that'll let our tyres cool down, and no, that was a pretty rubbish lap. So he's actually holding us up now. So he's let me go. Good lad. I actually completely got off the line. And sugar plum fairies. So, what did we get? 43.3, so I'm a second away from where I need to be. And to be fair, I think the vast majority of that 1 second deficit is the chicane bulk that we had. So, I'm not too worried at this stage in proceeding. This will be a good opportunity just to let me and the car cool down. On the very, very small chance that my wife is watching this live stream, I would really appreciate a drink. If you're knocking around, dear, please feel free to furnish me with a non-fizzy beverage. That would be quite delightful. As I've got some traffic now, so let's get out their way. That's a beautiful Aston. Aston's normally my car of choice in ACC, but for the privilege of having new content to enjoy, I've gone for the Mercedes because, well, it's new content, isn't it? So I'm going to give the Aston a little bit of breathing room, give myself a little bit of breathing room coming down into the penultimate corner. Now let's get a good launch out of here, which we don't, because I ran wide at like 20 kilometers an hour. Here we go. Let's try again. Let's get a representative lap time on the boards. Again, as I said last time, we don't need 6th gear for some strange reason. This part of the track, although you will do when you're in traffic, no doubt. Monster the curves, but don't get too greedy over the sausage curves. Use the full width of the track already. I've got a 10th in my pocket. A little bit later on the brakes this time. Steady the car up mid-corner. Too much curve there, but we got away with it. Coming into the hairpin. First gear, as I say, don't touch this curve on the inside because it is slippery as slippiness in Slippyville. Get on the power nice and early, 0.3 of a second in our pocket on this lap. Here's another critical corner. Very easy to go in too early, catch that sausage curve. Very easy to do what we've just done. Go in too late and wash wide. 4th gear, light touch of the brakes, straighten the car up, back on the throttle, hard on the brakes. Get the car turned in early. I'm a little bit too slow into that section of corners. We are hemorrhaging lap time up the hill, so that was a little bit disappointing. Then into the chicane, braking about 50 metres, down into the second. 1st gear in the middle of the corner, get on the throttle nice and early, don't run too wide and get a cut track. I was a little bit late, didn't quite catch the shift up in time, so that gave away a 10th of a second as well to my opposition. Here we're downhill, it's very hard to stop this AMG Mercedes in time. Use the curb on the inside, allows us to get on the throttle, a little bit of brake again, use the curb on the inside, on the throttle nice and early, full width of the circuit, hard on the gas, keep to the right hand side, don't go all the way onto that light green stuff or it will be seen as a cut track penalty. Again, keep to the right hand side for the shortest run to the line, 21st on the grid but a 42.6, so a little bit better. Let's try again now, coming into Tamburello, hard on the brakes, a little bit too late this time, going to run wide, yes we are, and that's obviously completely killed that lap. Just check behind us, there's a car coming, so let's get out of the way of Dave Perel, GT World Challenge driver of course for Ferrari. Dave Perel, the South African, avid sim racer as well. Pretty cool that that's a real world GT driver in front of me, which I don't care how long I do this, that's never ever going to get boring to see stuff like that one. Again, another driver behind, so let's give him, well, I feel like I'm in a Williams. All I'm doing is letting cars past, and we've got 4 minutes left on the clock. I've got 2 laps worth of juice in the tank. My tyres are losing a bit of temperature, but they should still be full of tasty grip onto the tarmac, so they've got another opportunity, methinks, to try and improve on what is a dreadful pace that we're displaying. I blame it entirely on the fact I'm talking and driving, and have nothing to do with the fact I have no skill. Let's have a look who's around us. Oh, in fact, let's not. Got too many corners, not enough straights. Right, this is it. This is go time. We're closer. Damn. We're closer to that Bentley than I'd like to be, but he's 9th on the timing board, so I would expect he will drive away from us. 3 minutes 30 on the clock. 2 laps of fuel in the tank. This is, at best, our penultimate, potentially our final chance to do something. I've gone way too deep into the first corner, caught those sausage curbs, just about got away with it. Still a valid lap, thankfully. The Bentley sees me coming and lets me go, but already 0.6 of a second. What a very disappointed throw the dice. Run wide again just to compound our mistake, so let's get a bit of a wriggle on and see if we can get across that line in time to do just one more lap. Let's have a look who's around us on the timing board. So I'm just behind Davide, so a couple of tenths I need to find where we can get Davide Brivio on the starting straight, and I'm in front of Aris, which is an absolute miracle, so obviously Aris is not trying very hard by the looks of it. So if we can get Davide 2 Kunos developers for the price of 1, 4 tenths off Mr. Git, so I'm not fulfilling my potential there. Mr. Git and I have never really been separated by more than a tenth of a second during our ventures, so I'm underperforming, or he's overperforming, depending on which way you want to look at it a little bit there with Mr. Git as well. So let's see what we can do. This is, regardless how much time's left on the clock because of the fuel in the tank, this is our final throw of the dice, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to try something new. I'm going to try and not speak. Might be easier said than done. Let's just concentrate for a minute. Oh, you absolute tool. Poo-poo. So that's it for me then, folks. 23rd. Good lord. Not cool. That's like the lowest I've ever qualified for anything ever. So not happy. Not happy. They must have developer hacks or something that we don't have access to. It's gotta be. Gotta be. Gotta be the reason. It's nothing to do with my natural speed. It's got to be some kind of cheatage. Oh well. Not to worry. Not to worry. Qualifying is one thing. The race is an entirely different kettle of fish altogether. You get nothing for doing well on the quali. It's the race where it matters. We've got 8 places to make up if we want a sniff at that reverse grid pole position. So that's got to be our target, hasn't it, folks? It's got to be. Aim for. Aim for that top 15 in the race. Now Yock's fastest, Yardi 8 seconds, surprise, surprise there. Roman Monti at 8th, 8 tenths off, so he's a real world driver. That's a great drive from the Roman there. Gonna go 10th, second away from the pace. Kev Stuck, 1.2. Darren, 1.2 as well, another developer. Gary Patterson, 15th, 1.3. Dave Perel, 1.4. Mr. Git, 1.7, nearly 1.8. Aris, 1.8. David, 8.2. Me, 2.1. Wowzers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've only out-qualified 6 people. That's, like, pretty heartbreaking. Oh well. Oh well, he says. There are other battles to be won, I am sure. So, we've got short wait times, a couple of drivers, Becker, Perel. Let's have a look at Dave Perel. So this is what a real-world GT driver looks like, driving Assetto Corsa Competizione. Here we go. Dave Perel drives this car in real life. Of course, you can see he's got a few more details on his rear-facing camera compared to what we had in the previous build for ACC. Listen to that engine, listen. Nice. Really, really nice sounds there. Beautiful audio from Kunos. And everybody that's responsible for that one, bravo on that one. Beautiful, beautiful audio. Perel keep as close to the wall as he can, and he moves up to 13th place ahead of Kevin Stuck. So Dave Perel, last minute, move up the field. Let's get our setup loaded. I can't remember what to do. There we go. Now then, we've got more fuel than we need at 50. I think. Let's knock it down to 45 and hope for best. 1 minute 42 until the session goes, so that gives me a few seconds to once again say, if you're just signing into the stream, thank you, well done. Pleased to have you here with us. Great to have you on this journey. Hello, and thank you very much. The format of what we're doing, we've got this race, and then following this one will be a reverse grid race for the second and final event of the day in this Assetto Corsa Competizione live stream event. The second race will be reverse top 15 on the grid, so we're aiming for that 15th position or higher, ideally, if we can get it. There's a full formation lap going to take place, and then a 20-minute race. Condition is 5 PM in-game in the evening, so it's a little bit later than free practice and quali, obviously, because it came after free practice and quali. That was a pointless statement to make. We're racing against some sim racing YouTubers. Sadly, Chris Hay can't make it. He's poorly at the moment. So Chris, if you're watching, get well soon, buddy. Shame we didn't get a chance to race against each other. There are some Assetto Corsa Simulazione developers in the race as well. We've got some real GT3 World Challenge drivers taking part, and some Assetto Corsa Competizione beta testers too. So a packed field of drivers, 32 to be precise, which is an awesome turnout for this little live stream event that we're looking at here. Davide Brivio is in the Ronaldo Racing green Ferrari in front of me. Aris is in the number 33 Audi just ahead of us there, and Mr. Git in the Aston Martin just ahead of us. So 1, 2, 3 personalities straight away. That's going to be very exciting to race against, and hopefully it doesn't go south into the first corner. Let's see, folks. Let's see. Strap yourselves in. Have a cup of tea. Bask in the glory of that cup of tea, by the way, if you're lucky enough to have one, because, oh boy, do I need a beverage. And let's go motor racing. Get these tyres warmed up on the opening lap. Full formation lap. Side by side rolling start, as you would be very much used to in ACC. Field still behind us there. Davide in the beautiful Rinaldi Racing Ferrari. Give him a little light flash. Hello, mate. Dragging his brakes. So, top tip for anybody who's maybe new to Assetto Corsa Competizione: drag your brakes. That will do a great job of warming the discs and pads up, which in turn will transfer heat through the carcass of the tyre and also warm your tyres up as well. So really useful tip for anybody who wants it there, that dragging your brakes really, really helps. There's also a top tip that I only discovered relatively recently, that when it comes to race start, keep your foot on the brake and use the brakes and the foot flat to the floor, and use that to modulate your speed. Then when the lights go green, lift off and away you go. And that explains why, quite literally, the whole world got better starts than I managed in online servers. So another good tip. Damage is on. The formation lap, there is no ghosting. So, whoa, let's not do anything bonkers before we even get to the green flag. I've got 13 laps of fuel in a 20-minute race, so that is more than enough for what I need. I love this part of a race. I love the formation lap, the building tension. I sadly spend more, well, not sadly, because I love that as well, but I spend more time commentating on other people's races than I do actually participating in them nowadays. So this is a pretty big moment for me. It's always epic to race against my mates, such as Davide and Aris and Kevin and Gergely, and shame Chris is not here. It's always cool to see Chris as well, but yeah, great to race against a bunch of drivers that really do know what they're doing, that you can trust and respect and have good racing with. So here we go, folks. Oh, nearly got a Lambo smashed straight into my arse end then. Here we go. Race time. Brivio alongside Mr. Git. Aris ahead. And a field full of hungry GT3 drivers looking for fun. Heading down into T1. Holding the car on the brakes. And actually, I've got hot front brakes now. Very hot front brakes, actually. And maybe I need to be like, I've never had that before. Oh dear. Just be a little bit careful with that. Green flag. Go, go, go. So caution is my friend. Into T1. You cannot win a race in the first corner, but you sure as heck can lose one. So we're going to coast into the first corner. Check the map above us. I know I've got a car alongside me, so I'll give him racing room. Hopefully he does the same for me. That's Mr. Git. I think. Can't really tell, and let's be honest, I don't want to be looking at the moment. I want to concentrate on what's happening in front of me. Everybody being very respectful in the opening encounters, which is grand. I mean, ideally for the broadcast I would have put the driver names above the car, but it's just an immersion killer for me. Spoils it, I don't like it. It's a very feisty looking Porsche. Getting up and into the experience as well. Concertina effect is so dangerous in these early parts of the race. Here I'm going to drop it in a third gear because everything's fresh and new. We've got full fuel on as well, so we don't really want to be taking a chance at this stage in the race. And I'm very much applying caution because, oh, here we go, that's not cautious from the cars in front. What I was going to say is I'm very much applying caution because I don't want to spoil somebody else's race as well as my own. I'm not really bothered about where I finish, I just want to laugh. But I don't want to spoil other people's events, and a good way of spoiling somebody's race is by smashing into them. And that is not my style. That's not how we rock and roll at RaceDepartment.com and simracing.gp. We have clean, hard, fair and fun fighting throughout the field, and that's something I hope to adopt in this race as well, as I've got Davide now marking the space behind. He's having a look into Tamburello, but I'm not going to fall for that one, not by any stretch of the imagination. The braking zone's so short here at Imola on most of the corners that you've really got to get a sizable overlap. You've really got to have your car firmly alongside to be able to get past. So you know that just don't defend fresh air. Concentrate on your line and let him go around you is the key to success. Unfortunately, that little shenanigan, I'll put the chicane on the opening lap, has now left an annoyingly large gap to the cars ahead. So hopefully, while they fight amongst themselves, that gives me an opportunity to close them down in these next couple of laps. I'm not swimming in lap pace, but they are in close proximity of each other, so that should work to my advantage in these early cautious laps. But I need to get a wriggle on quick, because they'll start to spread out, they'll find their own natural rhythm and space, and then it'll become increasingly difficult for me to get up and get in on that fight. You have to be intelligent when you're slow. You have to try and use the racecraft to your advantage. Let other people trip each other up, slow each other down, get involved in each other's incidents, and take advantage where you can, and that's exactly what we're going to try and do here. I'm being a little bit cautious on the tyres in the opening run-in as well, just to give them the best chance possible. Don't think we're going to have, yes we might do, no, let's not risk that. Showed my nose, but thought better of it. Let's get a switch back, get a good run coming out. The inside's not really going to happen, so again we'll look for the run. Davide just showed his nose a little bit then, we're thinking about it, trying to take advantage of what I was trying to do, but thankfully maybe that was a little bit foolish on my behalf to leave an inviting looking door open like that one. So if it had hit me, that would have been my fault, I would have deserved that one. But good driving, Davide Brivio behind, not to get involved in an accident as I run a little bit deep onto the curves. Downforce is reduced, following the Aston Martin ahead, of course. That's something I need to take into account, so I've not really done any proximity racing with other cars on these tyres. I've got shorts on and the window open, it's a freezing day, and already I can feel the sweat beginning. It's not a physical one, it's a mental sweat from just pushing and trying, and hopefully there's many thousands of people watching this. Try not to show myself up in front of those people. I apologise, by the way, for not reading the comment section. I've kind of not got myself configured properly to be able to see the chat at the same time, and I'm a little bit of a noob with can't remember what you call it, Twitch, to be able to navigate my way through that one. So apologies that it's not so interactive this stream. I will try harder next time we do something like this one and get a better setup, maybe an extra monitor mounted above my Samsung widescreen, or just a bit more proficiency in the system so I can engage a little bit better in the chat, or engage at all in the chat. So I do apologise. Please do chitter chatter amongst yourselves. No doubt it's probably Bram or Paul Glover will be lurking around anyway, making comments about my hair and keeping you all entertained with his lively 7-benter. Oh, sugar. It's okay, recover it fast. Track limits, no time gain, that's what we like to hear. How we're lucky. But yeah, even though I can't comment and communicate with you, I do appreciate you being there, and love goes out to you all. Thank you very much. Right, that one mistake has really lost me. 2 mistakes, let's make it now, has really lost me some ground. So we need to focus. We need to start closing down Samuel and Aris ahead. We've got Davide in sniffing distance behind us as well, so I need to be a little bit careful of that, but I am quite lucky. Just ahead of the 2 Aston Martins, the field is a little bit tighter, so hopefully they can start getting involved in trying to overtake each other a little bit more. Oh, sugar. How I don't swear on these things, it's an absolute miracle. Oh, come on, Paul, what's wrong with you, man? I've lost my mojo. I've lost my rhythm. Yeah, I need to... So close to that reverse grid pole, I can smell it! Good thing is, with race 2 being a reverse grid, obviously the very fast boys will be starting at best in 15th starting in 15th position. And as they carve their way through the field, we can hang on to their coattails and we can take advantage of those overtaking manoeuvres. So if we can stay where we are or move up a little bit, I smell a good result in race 2. I feel there's some opportunity for us there, but we're not quite halfway juncture in race 1 yet, so still plenty of time for this one to change, for better or for worse. At the moment I just don't feel quite confident enough to push the car like I know I can do it. I've done all my practice on next hit too. I've done all my practice on race fuel, and my stint pace is sort of high 42s, and I'm just not quite. High 42s and no mistakes, and I'm more mid 43s and too many mistakes, so we're not performing optimal, to say the least. But now look, the car's ahead, starting, oh shucks, starting to bunch up, being too excited, looking at those cars and not looking at my lines. But they're starting to bunch up, which is perfect for us. And already look, even though I've made absolute poo-poo of those corners, already I'm starting to close that gap down. So let's see if we can put a couple of laps together, neat, in and around where we think we should be pace-wise. We should be able to start closing that gap down quite nicely and buy into this fight in the next 3 or 4 laps time, which we need to do because, frankly, there's only 10 minutes left on the clock as somebody goes wide over the chicane. So this is our opportunity. The end of the next lap, I need to be on the tail of this fight, and then I can start sussing out where these guys are fast and where they're slow, and start planning where we might want to think about making our attack. As once again that car's off. That's the second time. That's the guy that came off at the chicane, so he's going to be compromised down here. Who is that? That's one of the devs actually, that's one of the developers now, so we're not close enough to make a move, so we'll just watch him into the chicane. Let's see if he can recover his composure and get his pace back up again and then drag us along with him. So what I don't want to do is start fighting him at this point because we're not close enough to the rest of the pack. And if we start fighting, that's going to allow them to get away from where we are, so we don't need to do that. We want him to find his speed and close up to the cars in front. God, I love this force feedback. Seriously, folks, I don't want to sound like that arse that's got early access to something that nobody else has and I'm sort of bragging about it, because I'm not at all. But this is just game-changing how good this update is. I cannot wait for everybody to get hold of this and share your thoughts and opinions to see if they kind of tally anywhere with mine, because I love it. Absolutely love it. Well done, Kunos. They're brilliant. And now we're in this battling environment. They're coming to the fore, just beautiful. GT3s are awesome. GT World Challenge are awesome. And what Kunos have done with Assetto Corsa Competizione is nothing short of a masterstroke. Absolutely masterstroke. I was talking to one of the devs last year at the GT World Challenge esports series that we ran. We're at Monza, I think it was. We were talking about ACC, and it was just prior to version 1 and the full car pack coming out, and they were sort of mentioning that they had a bit of a rough time with a build that had not quite panned out how they liked. They had to redo it, and it was a bit down in the dumps, this dev. And I said to them at the time, and oh have I been proven right since, dude, you're making Sgt. Pepper's the equivalent to Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. It might feel difficult times now, but when you step back and look, you're making something magical, and I stand by that one. This is everything I want from a sim racing game, apart from I really would like mid-90s super touring cars, but I think maybe I'm going to be a bit unlucky on that one. It's one class, it's one championship, does it down to all the fine detail. The graphics are good, the sound's out of this world, the physics are uber realistic, the force feedback is beautiful, the AI now is absolute class. So you can have just as good an experience off or online with it. Bring a tear to my eye almost, it's that good. I'm just so proud and privileged and happy to live in a world and a day and age where this sort of madness is possible, because this is everything and more than I wanted sim racing to be. When I first discovered it all those years ago on the big wide world of the interwebs, it's only going to get better. That's what's bonkers. It's only going to get better. The Britpack DLC will be coming out during the winter, so that's some British GT tracks. Donington Park, which is my favourite place in the whole wide world. Alton Park and Snetterton to accompany Brands Hatch and Silverstone that are already in the game, so I cannot tell you how excited I am for a laser scanned Donington Park, and I do believe, I'm pretty confident in saying that those scans they've already got, so the health pandemic of the world ain't gonna spoil nothing there. That's still very much gonna be happening, and yeah man, ACC at Donington, that's gonna be immense. Cannot wait for that, and I'm basically at the point now where I'm happy to consume anything that Kunos bring out, because it's just amazing. And on that front, no doubt I can use my magic eyes and imagine many of you are asking, do we know how much this DLC is going to be yet? The answer is no, we do not. That will be announced tomorrow, the DLC price. We can say that it's going to be the cheapest DLC that's been released thus far for Assetto Corsa Competizione. but they can't give you an exact price yet. And the DLC, of course, comprises of the Imola circuit, which we're driving now, the GT World Challenge 2020 cars, teams, drivers and liveries, including the Spa 24, so there's like thick end of 60 odd liveries in there, I think, and of the models there is the Mercedes AMG 2020 that I'm driving now, which is new, and the Ferrari 488 GT3 Challenge Evo, which again, I've got a little video as part of my review on RaceDepartment YouTube. We'll be going live tomorrow with that car and some more detailed opinions and thoughts about what's changed, so do feel free to check that one out, give it a like and subscribe, you know the routine. So yeah, it comes obviously with the balance of performance for the 2020 season. Comes with a new DHE tyre model, which I tell you now is just a work of art. Comes with its own 2020 Championship Season tab. Now, unfortunately, because of the World Health pandemic, Kunos have not been able to get out to, say, Manicourt in France and laser scan that track. So, although they raced at Manicourt, it's not going to be included in the DLC because it's just quite literally not possible to get the data they need to bring it to the game, which is a real shame. But there is still a very nice selection of tracks that have been bopped to 2020 standards, that have got the grip surface mesh levels, whatever you want to call it, have been adjusted to suit the 2020 season as well, so they're additionally selectable in the server alongside the 18 and 19 variations, and they will give up a different driving experience to its older counterparts as well. So there's plenty of content in there for sure. As whoa, got a little bit of a sleeping policeman there, nearly caught me out, not concentrating properly. 1 minute 56 left on the clock. We're still in front of Davide. We've got 7 seconds now on our Kunos developer cum musician Davide Brivio. Manuel Darin can't quite find the pace to keep with his Bentley, so maybe we should have attacked when we had the opportunity. And that's a wonderful thing. So we aimed, ladies and gentlemen, the 15th, which would give us pole position in the reverse grid race. But I'm afraid our leader has just gone on the final lap and we're falling some way short of that target. We've moved up from Q, which is nice. We've had a cautious race, kept out of trouble, not done nothing stupid. Not particularly excited about being 19th, I must admit. A bit disappointed, to be quite honest with you. But I expect with the reverse grid race coming next time out, of the faster guys working their way through the field, there will be a bit more opportunity for us to push a little bit harder. Rumour has it, although I'm not quite sure, that it's a slightly longer race. This one's been 20 minutes, race 2's 30, I think, which is good. So they're still very, very much in a sprint race territory. But yeah, we only needed another 100 laps and we'd have been all over these guys. The balance of the Mercedes as well. It's only been a 20-minute race, but the balance of the Mercedes has retained a very neutral feel. We've not really scratched the surface of what the tyres are capable of degrading towards and changing to, so not really got a significant difference in the way the car feels over what it felt like at the start of the stint, apart from, of course, it's a little bit lighter because we've burnt some fuel racing for, whoa, nearly sunshine. Yeah, we've burnt some fuel racing for 11 laps, so a really, really stable car, very comfortable to drive, not anywhere near as understeery as other Mercedes AMGs I've driven in either ACC or different racing simulators. So it's made a fan out of the car for me, for sure. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen, race 1 over and done with. P19 at the flag and Bedlam ahead. Race 1 over and done. Fun, fun, fun. Whoop, whoop. Totally enjoyed that one. Hope you guys did too. Didn't really get much in the way of action for fighting each other, but still, nevertheless, very, very enjoyable race. We'll bring it round a pit lane and get ready for race 2, which will be a reverse grid race. Wop, wop, wah. I'm kind of glad actually. I said I wanted P15 for the reverse pole, but that will just be terrifying. Having all those faster cars sailing past you is alright for any of that actually. That's just asking for me to either throw the car off the track myself or just get totaled by somebody who's way capable of braking at 25 metres while I'm braking at 75, so maybe it's safer this way around. There we go, not been navigating back to the pit lane. Right, we had just enough fuel. That was a 20-minute race. This next one's going to be a 30-minute race, so need to put some more juice. More juice, more juice! Let's guess it at 60, see what that does. 60 will give us 19 laps. It's a 1 minute 40 lap time, so that's plenty. Absolutely plenty. Whoop whoop. Go. Thank you guys. That was very good. It was indeed. So, Josh Martin 4th, good job. Roman Montin 6th, very good job. Nils Naujoks in 8th, so he obviously got involved in a little bit of shenanigans. Aris just missed out on pole for the next race by nearly just under 0.02 of a second. We were a couple of seconds further back. Got in front of Davide, we got in front of Mr. Git when he got involved in the chicane excitements, to say the least. So, yeah. You can stay on this server. When it disappears, please rejoin the safe server. The same server. Ah, okay. So it's going to disappear and reappear again. Guys, hope you're enjoying this one. This is fun. So this is the ACC. For anybody who's new, who's joining us, hello and welcome. Great to have you with us. This is Assetto Corsa Competizione. It's 1.6, which is an early access build that myself and a few others have been granted access to. It contains the Imola DLC track and the GT World Challenge 2020 cars, including what I'm driving, which is the brand new AMG Mercedes, and also the car that you see in front of us, which is the Ferrari 488. And in fact, let's go into that Ferrari so you can have a quick look at the cockpit in this one as well. Very nice, beautiful model by Kunos, as always. We've done our first practice quali and race 1, which was a 20-minute blast against YouTubers, developers, beta testers, and real-world drivers. And we're about to head, when Gergely sets the server up, we're about to head in a race 2, which will be a 30-minute affair this time. It will be a reverse top 15, so the person who finished first will start 15th from race 1. The person who finished 15th in race 1, which is Dave Perel, will start in pole position, so that should be spicy. I finished 19th, which means I'll start 19th, which is a bit of a bummer. I've got Davide behind me, so that'll be interesting to race against Davide again. We had a little bit more pace than him this time, but I think we're both being a little bit conservative. The DLC releases tomorrow, I believe, which is the 18th, which is Wednesday, the 18th of November. There is no confirmed price for it yet, so that price will be revealed by Kunos tomorrow on release day with the various regional pricings and everything, but they have told us that it will be the cheapest DLC that's released for Assetto Corsa Competizione so far, which is good news for everybody who's wanting to grab themselves a bargain, because it really is, ladies and gentlemen, it really, really is absolutely fabulous, to say the least. Now, heading to this second race, here we go. We're going to be a bit more aggressive, I think, this time. So we were ultra conservative into lap 1. We were ultra safe into the first few corners. Didn't want to ruin anybody's race. Didn't want to make any mistakes. Everybody's got their foot in. Everybody's got their eye in now. It's the final showdown, the final countdown. So let's push a little bit harder this time. What do we want to achieve? Where do we want to finish? Don't know. Starting 19th. Top 14. Sound like a reasonable ambition. As I say, because there's the fast guys starting 15th, 14th, 13th, 12th and so on, wiping their way through the field, I expect there'd be some shenanigans and some opportunities for us to find our way through the grid. So we'll see how that goes. But if you are watching this live now on Twitch, thank you very much. Please do give us a like and a follow, and also check us out at RaceDepartment.com. We are the world's largest sim racing esport website. We cover a wide variety of real and virtual motorsport news, discussion, engagement, competitions, reviews, and all that good stuff. So it'd be great to see you come join us at RD. Looking forward to hopefully seeing you with us for that one. Really, really great website, great team of people behind it as well. So do like to see you come join us. Check us out on YouTube as well. We have daily news videos. We do reviews of games, DLCs. We do reviews of hardware as well, and opinion pieces and whatnot. So great to bring you along on that one. And we're also on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and Instagram. We've got the Race Department podcast, so do check us out on your podcast provider of choice. Paul Glover, Danny Montiero, and Davide Nativo are in the RD podcast, and they discuss a whole range of different topics, the topical conversation pieces in the worlds of real and virtual. I used to be in that one, but I've recently stepped down from my role because I've got many other things that I need to focus on at this moment in time. But well worth a listen. Try to bring it out fortnightly. It ranges in length of time depending on what we're talking about and how easy it is to shut the team up. So yeah, please do check out the Race Department podcast as well. And that is all the kind of sales tactics that I can do while we try and fill. There's a little bit longer than I expected to be moving over in a race 2. So annoyingly, I'm going to try and work out if I can. Ow, I've cut my finger as well, and that is like super sore. I'm going to try and find out how I see this stream to see if I can find... Oh, here we go. Got it. Awesome. Rico, Imola is part of 2020, so I suppose it will be free. Rico 6, it is part of a DLC, is Imola, so we don't know the cost yet, but there will be a cost. Not sure if it's called Evo at Paul, but it's the 2020 Merc. No, it's not called Evo. The Merc is Mercedes AMG 2020 GT3. So there's no Evo in that one for some strange reason. Clean Shirt 69. How long are the online races usually, or does it vary? Completely depends on what race you're taking part in. Simracing.gp have a number of communities that run ACC, and they're from 20 minutes long all the way through to 4, 6, 12, 24 hours. So thoroughly dependent on what you're participating in and the community aspect as well. Depends what takes your fancy, really. Clean Shirt done that one. Rico 6, all depends on the server. Yeah, they've done the same thing. Is there a good place to find leagues? Yes, there is. Simracing.gp. We host, it's in conjunction with Race Department, we host daily simracing.gp events and leagues. Race Department hold great leagues as well, and there are a number of fantastic communities in there as well. So something for all tastes in Assetto Corsa and Assetto Corsa Competizione as well. There'll be other sims joining that one as well, Clean Shirt 69. So check out that at simracing.gp. Great website. You can go to RaceDepartment.com and find all the information you need to find on how to get into that, platform. Rico, I was hoping for an update on Zandvoort too. Yeah, so were we. But again, world situation, travel is impossible. Can't get the laser scans, so sadly it's not happening. So Zandvoort remains in its pre-Formula 1 going there, or not, as the case may be. Update. Let's have a look one. Any other questions here? 88 mile an hour Tim. Hey Tim, it's good to see you, man. His hair does make me think he would be faster turning right than left. Anti-clockwise, tracks feels like probably loses 2/10. My luscious lockdown locks that oh so desperately need cutting are somewhat sweat done now. So cheers Tim, thanks pal. What else we got? Anybody got any questions, by the way? Drop them in the comments because I can actually see them now. So drop them in the comments and I'll try my best to answer them as much as I can. No nickname. The Mercedes feels better than the older one, Paul. Yeah, absolutely way better than the old one. Much more balanced, much less front heavy. Does not want to rotate as dramatically and out of control as the old one did. And key to this, it's got the DHE tyres. So I've got so much more feel that even if it is doing unideal things, I can feel it so much better than I did in the previous Mercedes. I drove the previous Merc last night just to remind myself what it's like, and yeah, far superior, mate. Far superior. Marcelo Colombo's asking how much is the DLC. We don't know at the moment. We know it's going to be the cheapest DLC that ACC has to date. It releases tomorrow. The price will be announced tomorrow as well. What else have we got here? Any more questions, guys and girls? Please do throw them in the chat and we will try our very best to get them answered as soon as we can. Tim, again, it's a healthy dose of English accent. Sheffield, Northern England for the win. Cheers, buddy. Leonardo Volante, please don't die of thirst. Get some water. Yeah, tell me about it, mate. I'm gagging now. I've got to admit, a little bit sore throat, but I have no comms duties coming up anytime soon, so I can get away with it, I think. On this one, Glover Pup, come on PJ, cheers brother, I'll work on it, I'm trying my best. What else we got? What time is it available tomorrow evening from Baron Darkstar? Not sure is the answer to that one. We've not been given a time on it. I would anticipate it'll be through business hours CET, just to give the Kunos devs time to push it out and to make sure there's no problems and fix any problems that might come, but we don't have a release date. A release time on that one yet. Arcodadius, why most of YouTubers and streamers use the Aston? Well, funnily enough, actually, the Aston's my car of choice as well. I use it because it's cool and it sounds awesome. I'm not good enough to really tell that much difference between the cars. It's not like I'm going to drive one car 10 seconds faster than the other, so I just pick what I think is cool. I don't think inherently the Aston is faster than other cars. In fact, if anything, it's a little bit slow in a straight line compared to some of its rivals, but I think it's big, upshot. It's a very neutral car. It's a very comfortable to drive car, even if it's not outright the quickest. So I think that's got a lot to do with it as well. But it's all down to personal preference. There's a balance of performance across the sim in the 18, 2019, 2020 seasons. So on balance, by very definition, the car should be broadly even. Yep, some cars will suit some tracks more than others. Of course they will. But there's no distinct reason to go for the Aston over and above some of your other rivals. So, yeah, I won't worry too much about that one. It's just a case of everybody picks what they want. Just find out what's happening. Lost connection to the server. Great, so I need to leave and join again. Hooray. Didn't realise that, so I'm glad I checked. Hope I've not missed the start of race 2. Fetching server list. This is always a bit dicey whether this ever works, isn't it? Here we go. Paul's private party. Connect. I did not set the server name up, by the way. Yes! Jackpot. We're still here. Hooray! So, load my setup. For those of you who missed it earlier, I'm using the default aggressive setup, but with what I've done is I have blanked out the brake ducts, changed it a little bit because I've got plenty of fuel, plenty of temperature. They're going to forward it to the race session in 5 minutes. Let me check my fuel. 17 laps, 30 lap race. That's plenty. So while we're waiting for it to be forwarded, I'll just check a few more questions off. Ulster 3R, is this the new GT3 Evo? Merc, yes it is, sir. It is the new one. Any changes in feedback from the new tyre model? Yes, I've talked about it already, so I may have answered your question, but yeah, very much so. The car feels, I can feel the edge of grip a lot more. I can feel the build up to the edge of grip, which allows me to do more to get the car turning on the brakes. Gives me a better feel for what the tyre is doing underneath me. I can feel the tyre moving around a lot more on the car, which means I can play with the balance of the car mid-corner much more than I could do before. I really liked the force feedback in 1.5.9, but I think now it just feels much more talkative and more communicative than it did do previously. Rico, speaking to the mic. Hello, hello, hello. Sorry, buddy. I was hoping for... Yeah. So, I mean, they're basic questions. They're basically just a few things answered. I'm going to... Kego's going to shift the grid forward in a moment into the race. So, we are getting ready for race 2. Everybody, any questions, throw them into the chat, please. I will have a look at them when the race is finished and go through each and every one of them in order. I can't do it while I'm racing because my laptop is down there, my screen is here, and my mic is there, and I'm just not capable of doing that. What else have we got? Let's have a look. Yeah, pretty much same questions. So, right, let's go and see if we can just sneak a quick lap in before the server is forwarded on by the devs. So don't worry, it's not a 7-minute wait. Right, make sure you put your speed limiter on. Something that I often forget to do. Just get a bit of muscle memory back. That's Nils Nauyux, I think that is, maybe. Oh no, it's not, it's Constantine ahead of us. The BMW. We're getting ready to go racing. In a reverse grid. This could be fun and games. Or me trying so hard not to swear. We'll see. Credit where credit's due to me as well. I'm going to brag. Show off a little bit. How I've managed to do one whole race and not swear, I think, is incredible. So, pat on the back to me for keeping this family friendly during the stream, which is what we're all about here at Race Department. What a sneak past that BM. Forward into the race session in 1 minute. Be ready. I am ready. I've got 17 laps of fuel, which is more than I need for a 30 lap rate. Or is it? No, it's not actually. Sugar. Sorry, BMW, I just like broke up racing line. I'm going to put a little bit more fuel in actually, just to play it safe. Let's put 65 in, because there's a formation lap as well. So yeah, 20 laps of fuel, that'll do me quite nicely. Indeed. Pressure's on. Don't know how these esport guys do it. When they're racing like big competitions, they've got prizes and sort of like prestige on a live broadcast in front of tens of thousands of people. I just don't know how they do it. Because I mean, there'll be a few over the course of this video when the transfer onto YouTube. There'll be a few thousand people watch it, which are not massive numbers. We're not racing for anything other than fun, really, just to show the cars and track off and have a bit of a laugh with people that we're friendly with. So there's no pressure whatsoever, but you can feel it. You can feel yourself tensing up and stiffening up compared to what you would do if you were just doing an online lobby race. So to do that in an esport world must be really quite difficult. So credit, I doff my cap virtually to you, ladies and gentlemen out there that race competitive high-level esports infinitely faster than I do as well. Credit where credit's due. Right, wicked race time. Looks a bit dark out there. Cloudy. Let's hope there's no rain. Robin the Hoods, where do you see how many laps you can do with your current fuel? So you don't see the number of laps, but if you go into your setup, fuel and strategy tells you how many litres you've put in there and how many it calculates litres per lap. So you have to do a little bit of mental arithmetic. And then if you're in a practice session, you click drive and it'll tell you on your HUD at the bottom how much fuel in laps that you've got on. No use to me now in the pre-race menu. If I click drive, I'm setting myself up to go into the race. So personally, I'd love to see an extra line in that data that says how many laps worth of fuel that is. But top tip for those of you that are not very good at maths like me, if you've got an Alexa or a Hey Google or similar, some kind of speaker device, like I've got an Echo Dot here in the man cave.
Here's what I found on the web.
Ooh, hello. My phone's picked up Hey Google, so yeah. If you've got something like that, ask it. That helps.
Understand.
Although it doesn't understand, supposedly, so I'll have to wing my glove off quick and turn that off. Say something like that. Hey dear. Right. Close that down. 30 seconds to go. Let's get racing. So, back out of this. You back out of the setup as late as you possibly can, because that keeps your tyres in their blankets that little bit longer. We're going to use some headlights this time because we've got a little bit of, well, a lot of cloud cover a little bit later in the day as well, 5 PM in the evening. Could we have rain? That'll be interesting. Let's see. And once again, it's another what is it? Another off. Rolling start. There we go. Oh, come on, go. My tyres are cooling off, big style. Let's go. Ah, do it now. Right. Here we go. A little bit of wheel spin off the line. Get those rears heated up. And again, forgive me for repeating myself if you watched the first race pre-broadcast, but top tip, drag your brake. When I say drag your brake, what I mean is keep the brake pedal deployed while accelerated, and that is a very good way to very quickly get heat in your brakes and pads. Heating your brakes and pads is a good thing because A, it keeps your brakes and pads warm, and also that heat transfers into the tyre itself as well, which is critical for what you need, especially on this new Pirelli DHE tyre model. So, here we go again. Now, race 1, qualified 23rd, finished 19th. We had an ambition of, we've lost the driver actually, because I'm finding myself 18th on the grid somehow. We had an ambition of 15th, which would have got us into the reverse grid pole position, but we fell a little bit short on that one. Race 2 to reverse grid for the top 15, so I reckon that is going to bring a little bit of spiciness ahead of us. So there'll be faster drivers quickly trying to make the way through the order, but also trying to make their way past also very fast drivers, because it's the entirety of the 15 have been reversed. So if we can stay close to this bunch, then I think we've got an opportunity to find our way past a good number of these cars. If we are indeed going to be classified 18th on the start, I'd love a top 10, but that's asking way too much. Way too much. So let's be ambitious. Let's go for a top 12. That's our target for today. Top 12. That is ambitious, frankly. I think a top 15 will be more than enough for our lack of speeders. Closing speed there was humongous. Whoa, where are you going, son? That beamer got caught out by that one. Right, here we go. Final corner. Need to get a bit of a wiggle on actually so I can get alongside the car. Try to put in the first gear. Drag the brakes. If you remember, we had slightly hot front brakes last time, so I'm not going to be quite as aggressive on the brake drag as I was in the last race. So I don't want to overheat. It's a 30-minute race this one, so still a short one, but I don't want to overheat and get brake fade towards the end of the stint, so let's see what we can do. We're on the outside line, which is not, frankly, where I want to be. Kind of would have liked to have been on the inside into T1. It's a safer place to be, but outside worked okay for us last time. Bit of a poor start, kept it in first gear, didn't realise. BMW was a little bit aggressive, so you want to be careful, you. Two wheels onto the grass just to keep us out of trouble. Bit of contact ahead. They both seem to get away with it. That opens an opportunity up for me. Whoa! Very close to the Audi there, but got away with it. Everybody's very cautious. Into Villeneuve, as you would expect, get a little bit sideways as the tyres are still not optimal. The Aston quite clearly didn't see the Audi there and goes spinning. Almost takes the rear of my car off, but thankfully does not. And yeah, we've not actually properly passed anybody. Oh, sugar. But we have made up spaces. That is nice. So now I'm in. Harris is driving my favourite livery in the Aston, in my favourite car, so there's a little bit of jelly going on there, but that is Harris. And the Aston ahead. Oh no, it's not. The timing screen's updated itself again. It's not. It does seem to be a little bit of warping going on that car, so we need to be a little bit careful. Hate rubber banding, which is internet connection. Oh, more contact, more free places. It's got a feeling of a race 3 in British touring cars to this one. There's been quite a bit of contact, which it's always a bit disappointing to see that, to be quite frank. Van Aston's gone down pit road. There's no mandatory stops in here, so I'm not quite sure why. Maybe he's attracted himself a little bit of damage, but we're unlucky for some. P13. Whoop, whoop. Okay then, maybe we can fight for this top 10. Let's see. It was a top 15 reverse grid race, so there will be some faster guys scything, well, hopefully scything for their sake, through the field in front of us, so that might displace a few drivers and give us some opportunity. We've got clean air once again, which is very boring. I don't want clean air. I want close racing. So I need to get my finger out. Get on the back of that Lexus and Co. In front of me. Darren is the Bentley that we just didn't have enough pace to pass in race 1. He's behind me now. So I let him kind of go last time. I didn't force the issue last time, and he wasn't as that much faster than me, so I'm not going to do that this time. If he wants to fight, he can fight. because this time I'm not going to be strategic, we're just going to push. Don't know whether others have done something trick to their car setups, because even the Mercedes behind, everybody seems to be able to brake so much later and so much harder than I can into that downhill penultimate corner. I'm going to give this Mercedes some space. He's got the run, no point fighting that one, so I'll get on the brakes nice and early, give him the racing room. Because again, it's all about, I know it doesn't feel very racing drivery to let a car go. It's all about pushing forward. There's no point fighting tooth and nail and holding each other up when he's clearly faster. So let's lose as little time as possible. Let him do the hard work of clearing the cars in front. And then I'll just join that party. In theory. We'll see. Hopefully he can join that fight in front, and then that can present, oh, that was a bad idea, that can present some opportunities for us as the race progresses. Such a scary section of corners. Look how great it looked then as we're getting a little bit darker now. We saw the sparks fly up from the back of the Merc in front of us. Wicked. I really need a drink. I am thirsty. I haven't got any alcohol in the house either, and since we're in lockdown, ain't really got much opportunity to get some, so a refreshing beer would have gone down a treat after this race, but hey ho. Right, what's happening now, ladies and gents? Exactly what I hoped wouldn't happen. And the cars in front have just got way more pace than me. Damn it. So I'm going to be fighting a rearguard action as we see smoke and flags and cars everywhere. Bonkersness. So, spoke a bit too soon actually, because, hello, I'm back in the fight. P12. Be satisfied with a P12 we said at the start? Now I've seen it, I want more! Let's see. That's a very colourful BMW Nils Naujoks ahead there. Many, many different colours on the BM. Bit of an art car. Very big car is the BMW in GT3 land. So Naujok's doing well to extract the speed that he does out of the Bavarian beast. And he's way faster than me, at least a second and a half, maybe even quite a bit more than that to be frank. So we need more shenanigans on the cars in front, because they even seem faster in a straight line. Oh, dive bomb. You can have that one then, mate. It's a bit of a dive bomb. Decided discretion's the better part of valor. And let him go. But look how much more straight line speed, even though I'm in a draft, he's got than I have. We're actually vulnerable talking about straight line speed to the Bentley. So this time I'm going to stay in the middle of the track and go a little bit defensive. It's time to get defensive now. Fed up of people taking me. Let's see if we can defend for 22 minutes. Oh, more contact, more contact. Oh, Shaga. Nearly swore, but didn't. Clever boy, Paul. That's top 10. Whoop, whoop. So, if you can't do it on pace, do it by default and stay out of trouble. Well, it's a hollow result, but we'll take it. Now let's see if we can find something in the locker to keep up with and pass this BMW, or at the very least to keep the Bentley behind at bay. Ideally I wanted first coming out of that chicane, so that was a bit of a mistake. Hey ho. The car, the Mercedes, compared to some of its rivals, does feel a little bit lazier on downshift, to answer the question that somebody had earlier about how does this car feel compared to the 2019 Merc. I don't know if the 2019 Mercedes was like it, because I've not really driven it properly, but this one, it does feel a little bit reluctant to hard shift down in a second, which makes engine braking in places a little bit more challenging than it does do in the Aston, let's say, that I'm used to. So the final two corners, I feel like I need second gear, probably 2/10 sooner than the car will let me take it. So a little bit lazy on the downshift, which compromises my ability to get it stopped into the corner compared to what I would, under ideal circumstances, like. But again, I don't really know if that's specific to the 2020 car, if that's specific to the Mercedes, or to the setup that I'm sporting now. But it is an observation that I do think I've got more lap time than I'm giving away lap time there, my inability to get the car slowed as I would like, and certainly in comparison to my rivals who seem to be able to brake harder and at shorter distances. This corner I'm talking about. So, watch. Okay, not so much at that bit because we compromised our entry, so we weren't going as fast as we would do and couldn't snatch fifth gear like we would normally want to do at that section of track. But keep your eye out on it on the next lap. So that's just one of the vagrancies of the Mercedes AMG that I'm just not familiar with. Another change for 1.6 that I've not mentioned actually. It's only minor, but it's a nice thing, and you'll not have noticed on stream probably, because I've turned the spotter volume down so as not to be off-putting, either for myself driving off the broadcast. But there's a few new spotter messages applied, so I've got a slightly different spotter messages in places. So I noticed just before this race it gives you a 30-second countdown to start, and so on and so forth. So that's nice for a bit of variety, because anybody who does a lot of driving in ACC will soon get bored of the same messages over and over again. Change down a third then, I didn't really need to, but let's get the car nice and stable. It does seem like this BMW is under a bit of pressure ahead, but I am getting a small amount of network rubber banding, so I need to be a little bit cautious how closely I run against him. I'm assuming by his name he's Italian, so not quite as... My network's not fantastic actually at the moment, so we're having a few network issues with my internet provider at the moment, not providing quite the level of service for the stupidly high price I pay, and for some reason technology has not made it to my part of the world yet, so trying to get fibre broadband is like trying to find the Loch Ness Monster with your eyes closed and a fishing rod. Hey ho, right, got an overrun but not enough. And a cautious game, try and get a good run through Tamarello, which we do, but he's got a good run as well, so that's not really much benefit. But a little bit careful in here because the downforce taken away will unstabilise the car in the middle section, which it did. Go a little bit defensive into the hairpin because the Bentley behind is wanting to get involved. I'm sandwiched between Kunos developers. So, it's a good job I like Kunos games, otherwise I could use this opportunity to take out take out my frustrations on them. But actually, I think both of their products that I've tried, AC1 and ACC, pretty much beyond reproach, so I have no need to ram them. In which case I shall stay as clean as my limited skills allow. 16 minutes left on the clock. We're in that top 10. The dead dream of a top 10, but we have got one. He's vulnerable into that section of corners. That's 2 or 3 times now. He's compromised himself, but he's got enough horses to get away from me on the back straight. And in fact, I touched the curb a little bit, so that's, if anything, made me a shade vulnerable to Darren behind. I don't think he's close enough to try and throw his nose at the inside as we drift into the first part of the chicane a little bit too aggressive on release of the brake pedal there, so just destabilizing the car even further. Go defensive, try to sneak up my inside, but I saw that one coming and kept the car on the inside line, so no room to pass there, but good driving not to force an impossible issue and make an accident. So good driving, mate, well done. BMW and I seem to be quite evenly matched. The Bentley behind seems to have a little bit more lap time in his pocket, and I fear could probably start to walk away from the two of us should he find a way past. So I need to be super cautious not to let him go, because I think once he's passed, he's gone. It's my turn this time to get that one all wrong. But again, look, we've got a decent run. The BMW just has, with the setup that he's got on the car and the inherent strengths of the big BMW, he's got the legs on us down the start finish straight, but fortunately a bit of slipstream keeps us out of the danger zone for the Bentley behind until I do something stupid. So we'll keep it in the middle of the track just to discourage any potential passes. That puts us on the wrong line. It's okay. Scrabbled through. And now it seems like there's another person joining the party. Gary Patterson joining the party in his Aston Martin. So this is soon going to become a three-way fight. I suspect at this stage in proceedings I've maybe got a little bit more speed. Not by much, but a little bit more speed in this BMW. So if I can find a clean way to get past without compromising him too much so he can hold up the chasing pack, this will be a good opportunity for me, as there's some yellow flags and some dirt kicked up, so somebody's had a little bit of strife through the chicane, which is Kev stuck, Nils Naujok's ahead of us. So if we can keep doing what we're doing, we might be able to buy into this fight before too long, as one of the cars is off the road. So wow, this is getting spicy now. This is getting spicy. Looks like Darren and Gary Patterson behind are fighting each other a little bit, so they could do with getting more involved. Would be nice. More involved with themselves, that is, not us. And I could do with not doing stupid stuff like that. We got jammy then. Forgot to change up though. Well, that's cost me stupid drive. That was ridiculous. Oh, that's a pathetic way to lose a top 10 pole. What a pillock. I hate that. I don't mind being overtaken if it's a good realistic pass. Just being stupid and not shifting up. And then driving like a donkey over curbs that you don't need to drive over. Not good enough, Mr. Jeffrey. Not good enough. The upshot is, though, we're starting to get involved in some hijinks further in front. So this might present us some opportunities. Got caught out a little bit with how hard the Bentley was braking there, so not going away with it though. Hope you're enjoying this, everybody at home, by the way. It's a new kind of commentating for me. Rather than doing it from the box, I'm doing it from the track. Been quite a big concentration one this, because I'm on for a far better result than I thought I would be, and much as I said I don't want to do a result, I just want to entertain. Kind of want the result now. So forgive me for not going too far left field and talking about the intricacies of sim racing and Assetto Corsa Competizione, but I kind of want this result. Oh, change up gear. I also kind of want this race to finish soon because I've had no dinner yet. It's 9 o'clock here in the UK, so I need to eat something. Beginning to get hungry as well as thirsty. Oops, followed in wide. Didn't get a cut track for that, so. Ooh, that was close. So easy to do what he did then and make that mistake. So easy. I've done it many a time. And that opened the door for us, and it would have been rude not to walk through said door. So there we go. Now the equilibrium even has been reset. We've both made rookie mistakes and lost position. And we're back in top 10. And there's a fight now. Up ahead, Dave Perel is heading the train. So Dave Perel, remember, finished 15th in race 1, which gave him pole for race 2. Don't seem to have worked out too well for him by the looks of it. That'd be a nice scalp if I can do some genuine racing with a Ferrari GT World Challenge racer. I would like that. I would like that a lot. So let's see what we can do. He's the third car of the 3 in front. Looks like he's actually the cork in the bottle of this little pack. So Kevin Stuck will be trying to find a way past, and while they're fighting and I've got a bit of clean air, it's time to pump some quali laps in if we can. As it seems like Perel gets a little bit out of shape into the chicane, which is nice. Let's that again. And there is Dave Perel. Ha! He races real cars. Yay! That's quite cool. First time I've done this. Never seemed to be on the track with other people of note, so that's quite cool. This goes to show though, doesn't it, that starting on the reverse grid pole and defending from cars that are a little bit quicker than you actually is a lot slower than starting down in the nosebleeds where I did. and working your way through the field relatively unencumbered by being passed. So just shows you, doesn't it, that motor racing, it's a funny old game. There are many different strategic aspects to be considered. Now we really need to clear this 888 Ferrari as soon as we can, because we're getting the chasing pack starting to put us under a little bit of pressure. 6 minutes on the clock, so probably 3 laps tops on the books. First time I've shared a track with a Ferrari during the course of this race, so I need to understand where that car is weak and where it's strong in comparison to my AMG Mercedes. And once again, it seems a little bit pokier in a straight line. I, of course, am running the default aggressive setup, give or take, so no doubt these guys have all got a little bit more in the way of car tweaks, so that'll explain why they'll be stronger or weaker in certain aspects of the racetrack to a certain degree. I would imagine with the long start finish straight at Imola, it's probably intelligent to strip a little bit of downforce out of the car, because too much downforce and you're quite literally giving away free lap time on these long straights. I mean, this is a change gear pillock. This is a reasonably long straight as well, uphill too, so the more speed you can carry up here, the happier days it is. But someone like me who's maybe not quite as accomplished a driver, I like keeping a modicum of downforce on the car for comfort. I often think it's better to do 20 laps at a similar lap time that's ultimately a bit slower than do really fast laps and keep making 3 seconds worth of time loss mistakes every 5 laps. So yeah, not the most exciting way to go about it, but often than not it gets results. Now Pirelli seems to have recovered from his dramas and has found a little bit of speed, and it's Kevin Stuck's turn to be the cork in a bottle. So Kevin Stuck, the guy, you'll know him as Minolin on the forums at RaceDepartment, guy who is very much responsible for the ratings within ACC and the driver ratings and whatnot. Stuck under significant pressure in the lead car. You two keep doing that, thank you. Oh, Paul, come on. Stuck and Constantina, you two keep doing that. Fight hard, hold each other up, give me an opportunity. Oh no, the spinachness. I'll have you both. Whoop, whoop. 7th place, I so have not earned it, but I'll take it. And ladies and gentlemen, let this be a lesson to you. Ultimate lap speed is one thing, staying out of trouble, entirely different thing altogether. He says he's nearly throwing the car off the track. Got a really fast Lexus now. That's one of the beta testers running under false names to protect the innocent, of course. Now the question is, screw it, he's way faster than I am. Only 2 minutes 20 on clock. Shall I just defend this? But he thought, oh, change gear, you stupid fool. I'm going to defend it. Screw it. Let's do this. Normally he's that much faster, I wouldn't risk it, but no. Let's see if we can hold on. Oh no. Oh no, 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 oh no. Not be holding on driving like that, mate. Calm it down, Paul. Just drive your line. And this is the thing. This is another top tip for people who are maybe just getting into sim racing or a little bit less experienced. If you've got a faster car in front or behind, don't suddenly drive as though you expect to find another half a second a lap that you didn't have before. If you're lapping at a certain speed, that's your speed. Don't suddenly try and take corners 30 or 40 kilometres an hour faster than you've ever done before, because it ain't going to work. So just stick to what you know. And stick to not making a mistake. So if you're defending, drive at your speed, drive sensibly, keep it clean. If you're attacking, drive at your speed, and if the car pulls away, post hurrah. Sometimes you don't always get past everybody, and you just have to accept that it ain't going to happen. Don't suddenly try. See so many times people lapping, for example, a 1:50. You get someone behind them and suddenly think they can do a 1:48. You can't. Now I've cock and balls this up. Both run a little bit deep. That compromises me. Oh, you swine. Oh, a little bit of a love tap from behind. Massive love tap from behind that time. That's a pretty poor bit of driving that, if I'm honest. God's sake. That's a bad way to end. Bit of poor driving there. Not from me. Poor driving, that is. Let's see if we can recover. I mean, not even waited for me, despite blatantly taking me off, which is pretty shoddy. Oh well, don't matter. Now, can we make a last lap pass into the penultimate corner where we're traditionally weak on the brakes? No. I've got to admit, I'm irritatingly disappointed about that result, but all good fun. All good fun. Race 2, 15th, should have been 7th. Wow, that was scary. But, good. Manuel Darren, sorry Jeff. No worries, brother. No worries. And ladies and or gentlemen, boys and girls around the world, this has been the Assetto Corsa Competizione live stream event put on by our friends at Kunos Simulazione. So thank you guys once again for another wholeheartedly wonderful experience. Great to race against everybody. Great to race in a wonderful DLC that will be available tomorrow, Wednesday, the 18th of November. It contains the Imola track, the GT World Challenge 2020 cars, the 1.6 update, the new AI changes, a whole host of fixes and improvements. Make sure you check it out if that's the kind of thing that interests you, and most importantly of everything, thank you so much everybody that has tuned in to this here live stream. If you floated in for a little while or you stayed for the duration, thank you. I'm going to park the car, just check, see if anybody's got any questions in the chat, and then we're going to call it a day for the night. I'll check the replay on in the background. Let's have a look if we've got anything. Right, let's have a look. That's going to end in tears. I'm a fortune teller. You are correct. Rico, is it me or does that Lexus look warpy? Yes, it did. That made my buttocks twitch just a little bit. Okay, that's pretty much it. So, everyone, love you all. Stay safe in these weird and wonderful times in which we're in. Thank you so much for tuning in. Check out Race Department on YouTube tomorrow, where I've got my review of these cars. I'm a clever boy. I recorded it before tonight, so my voice will no longer need to worry about being gone in the morning. Thank you all for tuning in. I have been Paul Jeffrey. This has been Assetto Corsa version 1.6 DLC. Until next time, thanks for tuning in. Bye bye.